Affordable housing to me means that we should be able to pay our bills, however, still go ahead and be able to eat.
So my biggest concern is whether or not I can make ends meet, because I do not have a job right now, and I've actually been in the job hunting process, but I feel like the salaries here is not just going to be enough for me to find a place that is affordable and also livable.
Obviously unaffordable for a majority of people, especially people who are trying to buy housing. So yeah, my biggest concern is that the city is just going to have way too many renters who can barely create wealth for themselves.
I think one of my biggest concerns right now is anything that's constructed after 2017 is exposed to any type of rent increase at any time, and there's no rent control. So I'm just really concerned on what that's going to look like for the future. If we don't have any rent control and we don't have any new income coming in, how are we going to afford to live?
After I pay for the rent, it's gonna be more or less 50% left of my salary, so that I can save them or I can spend them.
Affordable housing also means that your entire existence shouldn't revolve around worrying whether your rent is going to be paid next month or 2 months down the line.
And I say that because I'm in a community and my building is 80% seniors. So that means currently that they have to choose whether to eat or pay rent, which should never be a choice.
Well, 24/7. Yeah, I guess 24/7 because, I don't have my parents' support, and they don't have any houses or accommodations as well. So basically I'm on my own on this housing hunting journey. So yeah, I feel scared most of the times. Yeah.
When you're perpetually worried about next month, or you not being able to make rent, that creates so much worry in my own life that you're completely occupied all the time, and that's been the biggest issue for me.
I actually was exposed to homelessness. I lived in a shelter. At that time, subsidized housing was not what it is today. There wasn't a 10-year waiting list. I was able to get it, but one of the things is that when you're used to living a certain way, and I'm not saying I had a fancy lifestyle, but when you're used to living a certain way and then you move into a home and think it's brand new, and then you're having to deal with mice, roaches, rats, it's like, am I going somewhere better, or it's just this, am I filling a gap?
The government needs to look more into what kinds of housing they can build and what places they can make use of, to reuse them or to renovate them, to make them into potential housing resources for people that are incoming. Yeah.
To fix Toronto's housing crisis, I think one would be to increase the supply, but obviously just meeting the supply doesn't necessarily mean that the housing crisis is going to get solved. So step one would be to increase supply, but also to ensure that the prices are affordable even as supply increases.
I would like to see where there is a cap for developers and the city is held accountable to say, okay, if we're going to bring in new condos, that we get people who are highly at risk at a fixed amount for the remainder of their lifespan because they don't have the ability to bring in any new income. The earning potential or even passive income doesn't exist for them. So we protect those people and also the people that are there, but we work with people to bring them where they need to be versus stifling them and pushing them out the door to homelessness.